Okay, today's math lesson is for Monday, March 23rd. It's lesson 8.9, and we're talking about metric units of liquid. Go ahead and pause the video if you need some time to find this blue, green, or aqua color. Remember, if you don't have this exact color, just find something similar. And I'll give you, go ahead and pause the video so that you can write the title, the date, and draw this little staircase and find the color. I'm going to go ahead and move on, so pause the video until you get that set up, how mine looks. Metric units of liquid. So first of all, we need to think about what is measured in liquid. Think about that for just a minute. We measure things like water, soda, milk. Anything that's liquid can be measured in metric units. Now here in America, we use customary units, so we talk a lot about gallons and quarts and cups and ounces, but most of the world uses the metric system, and they measure things in liters. So if you think about that, normally when you buy a pop or a soda, you are, like if you buy a 2-liter at the store, that's, a big, tall thing of soda, that is how it's measured, is in liters. So the metric system with liquid is not any different than the metric system was with length when we were talking about meters, only now the unit is going to be liters, so with a capital L. So take a look at how I made the L on the title be a capital L and bold, so that you would remember liquid in metric is measured in liters. So we draw this staircase. When you draw this staircase, you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stairs or 7 lines that are going left and right. So I always just do a couple and then I figure out if I have enough. But you need the 7 lines for a reason, is because you need to set up the metric staircase or the metric system. And remember, it begins, great, just broke my pencil. That's how I do things, huh? You need to begin with a capital K. The capital K stands for kilo, or we do the fun saying, King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. So let's go ahead and do that first. There's the King Henry doesn't usually, that's a lowercase u, drink. Notice how these are lowercase. Chocolate, lowercase. Milk, lowercase. So I did capital, capital, capital. Then I did a U for unit. Then I did drink chocolate milk, DCM. Okay, so the fun saying, again, we're going to write it off to the side, is King Henry doesn't usually. Look how those are capitalized. And then usually is going to be spaced out, written a little bit differently. And then lowercase, drink chocolate milk. That's how we're going to set these up. Please put equal signs next to each one. We're going to tell you what they really stand for. Remember, that's just the fun saying that helps us remember what letters to put on the staircase when we're doing these conversions. So I'm going to make even the lowercase ones be like this. So king, think about it for just a minute. What does the K stand for? It's kilo. The word kilo means 1,000. So that's good to remember. The word kilo means 1,000. Henry stands for hecto. Hecto stands for 100. Doesn't stands for deca. Deca. A deca is 10. The unit is always the ones place value, or it stands for 1. And in this case today, we're talking about liters. So we'll put a little star right here. This changes out depending on what you're measuring, but we're measuring liquid volume today. So it's liters. You do that with a capital L. And maybe close it with a star, just like we opened it with a star. So kilo, hecto, decaliters. And then drink is deci. And that stands for 1/10. Or you can do it like the decimal, 1/10, like that. Same thing. The chocolate is centi. Remember, cent is 100, so in this case it's 100th. So we'll do it as a decimal representation. And then The M in milk stands for milli. M-I-L-L-I. And this is not a millionth like you might think. Think about the pattern. If this is the ones place and I'm moving to the right, I have the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths. Hopefully you said that out loud. So 0.001. So kilo, hecto, decaliters, deci, centi, milli. Right? So come back over here to the staircase and let's go ahead and make those bold and think about it as you say it. Kilo means 1,000. Hecto means 100. Deca means 10. The unit, in this case, is liters today, capital L, and it stands for the ones place. Deci, that's a tenth. Centi is 100th. And milli is 1,000th. So something to think about is you can use the staircase or you can use just a basic number line. If you were to flatten these stairs out and shift it like this, you would just have the ones place, tens, hundreds, thousands. Think about the ones place. Moving to the right of the ones, you would have a decimal, right? So it's kind of fun sometimes to put a big dot right there on the unit staircase to remember that from this point moving down the stairs, the numbers are actually getting smaller. The place values are getting smaller. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. But from this decimal point moving up the stairs, they're getting larger because you have this as the ones. So you have decimal, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So that's important to remember about this staircase. We're not going to spend a whole lot more time on this staircase because we need to use it rather than talk more about it. And you've already learned this before. So hopefully you're remembering that. That's the important thing to remember today is that unit is called liters today because we're measuring liquid volume. All right. The next thing I want to do is talk about when you move up the stairs or down the stairs when you're doing unit conversions. So I want you to write on here, unit conversions require movement going up the stairs, comma, or I'm going to put it this way, down the stairs. Unit conversions require movement going up the stairs or down the stairs. When you go up the stairs, you're moving up here to the left, like that on a slant. And when you go down the stairs, you're moving that direction. Right? So up that way, down that way. Maybe we better box those and show. That one's down. And this one is up. Sorry, that was a weird way to circle that. That one means down, and that one is up. Okay, so as far as moving up and moving down, what that means is that it's a decimal movement. So you're just going to kind of put over here, off to the side, you can just put this caret. Move the decimal that direction. So now let's try something where we're doing these unit conversions and we're moving the decimals in that direction. So in this situation, I would just probably try to find a problem where it gives you a measurement and it asks you to convert it to something else. So let's go ahead and write this out. Let's try something like 72 liters. That's how it would be represented. 72 liters equals how many milliliters? So right now I want you to think about this for a minute. I have 72 liters and I'm converting it to milliliters. I'm going from something pretty big to something really small. So take a look at the staircase. I started right here in the middle of the staircase at the L, and they're asking me to find something that is down here on the bottom staircase, milliliters. I forgot to mention this. Remember, after every one of these letters, you're going to say liters. So you're going to say kiloliters, hectoliters, decaliters, then just liters, deciliters, centiliters, milliliters. So whatever your unit is, that's what you say after each one of these. So don't be confused by the little m and then the big L. It just means milliliters. So put your finger on liters. That's where you began. And look that see how we're trying to find milliliters. So you have to go from liters down to milliliters. So I'm moving down the staircase, which means I'm going to the right. And I started right here at 72. So I got that number from this, 72 liters. And I moved down the staircase. So remember, where's the decimal on 72 right now? It's at the end. Please put a decimal at the end. And I'm moving the decimal down or to the right. How many times am I moving it? That's the question. How many times do you move this decimal? The answer is however many steps you took. So to get from liters to milliliters, I'm going to step down 1, 2, 3 times. So I have to move the decimal that direction to the right, because that's where I'm going, 3 times. Think about it. If I have 72 and I'm going to move the decimal to the right 3 times, I'm going to end up with 72 and 3 zeros. So 72 with 3 zeros. Don't place a decimal yet. I want you to think about it. Here's where the decimal was originally. I moved it 3 places to the right, so the decimal would now be here at the end. When the decimal's at the end, it just means you can put the commas where they belong. So 72 liters is the same as 72,000 milliliters. Okay? 72 liters equals 72,000 milliliters. They're the same. We just converted something bigger, like having 72 tall bottles, and I said how many little tiny milliliters are in those bottles. So that's all we did. So that's the answer on this problem. In order to refer to the staircase so much with my journal, I'm actually going to draw another staircase right here on the right, and you should too. You need to be really quick at drawing staircases, so I'm just going to start it right here. Remember, I'm going to be going down 7 steps, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I always just double check. Kilo, hecto, deca. This is the liters, the unit, whatever's there. Deci, centi, milli. Okay? Again, we're looking for liters today. So now I can refer to the staircase rather than that top one. All right. Let's try another unit conversion before we take a break. Let's try this one. If I have 5.74 kiloliters, kilo, that's at the very top, and I ask you to convert it to liters. So you put your finger where it gives you, it says 5.74 right here, 5.74 kilo. And I'm moving down the staircase to get to liters. Down the staircase. How many times do I step down before I reach the L? 1, 2, 3. It's 3 again. So, and I went down the staircase, so I move it down this direction to the right 3 times. Well, the decimal is right here already, so I move it 3 times. 1, 2 would make 574. So to go another time, so I want you to write this out down here. To go 1, 2, and then move it a 3rd time. When you moved it a 3rd time, remember you have to fly in 0 the hero to make that make sense. So the answer is 5,740 liters. I know I'm going quick, but that's just where we're at in this level. You should be able to keep up the pace on this. If you can't, go ahead and pause the video whenever you need to. But let's do just one more since that one went pretty quickly. Let's do 712 milliliters. We'll start at the bottom of the staircase this time. And I'm going to ask you to convert it to liters. So no problem. You just find where is milli down here at the bottom. I have 712, and I want to know how many of those would fit inside of the liter. So I'm moving up until I get to the L. So again, you can use your eraser to kind of move up. You start with milli and you go 1, 2, 3. Again, it was 3, but this time I went up. And when you go up, you're moving the decimal more to the left 3 times. Where's the decimal on 712 right now? It's at the end. So to move it left 3 times, I just simply go like this. 1, 2, 3, and plop it right there in front. So it's 0.712 and I would throw in a 0 at the beginning. So that is read as 0 and 712 thousandths of a liter. And that's the answer there. All right, we're going to go ahead and pause this, and you can pick it up on the next video.